So this guy is dragging anchor and he's gonna drift into us. Oh! Jason, I don't think you should leave. No?
Hold on. I think it's best if we start here. No, how about here? Rarotonga is stunning, but a lot of sailors choose to skip it. And after our last two videos, people keep asking why. Well, here it is in a nutshell. The ocean floor rises from thousands of feet deep to meet the reef that sits just below the surface of the water. The few passes are narrow, and the water rushes in and out with great force. There aren't deep protected lagoons here like French Polynesia or Fiji. That leaves only one choice for sailors: the main port. It's a working harbor, and it's not fancy. There are no amenities like a typical marina, yet they charge a substantial daily fee. It'd be much better if we could dock over here, but that's reserved for the locals and tour operators. So our only option is here, exposed to the northerly elements of the sea. It's a med-style mooring where we drop the anchor back into a concrete wall and pray we don't get strong winds or bad weather, especially from the north.
That's what it looks like here with 15 knots of north wind.
It's not even north wind anymore.
Well, it was. This has been north wind for 24 hours now. We read that if there's anything north, you gotta get out. But the harbor master said, "No, you'll be fine, you'll be fine."
And it is fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
But any more, and wow.
20 knots, I think. 25 knots for sure.
You might want to head out to sea.
Yeah.
Go sailing for a day or two.
Poor minion's taking a beating.
Yeah, big time. Yeesh.
The trade winds typically blow from east to west, and during our stay it had a touch of south in it, which is perfect for this harbor. But this is what it looks like with 10 knots from the northeast. Curiosity's pointed north, and the waves are wrapping around the little break and heading straight for us. It's not ideal, but we have two advantages. Our anchor is incredibly reliable, and it dug into the mud hard. And because we're on the corner, we have extra support from the line run to this bollard.
All right, I'm gonna disconnect you. So this guy is dragging anchor and he's gonna drift into us, but more importantly, his boat is at risk right now, pretty bad.
So what happened on this day?
Everybody's kind of dragging, moving really weird right now. Even our lines are extra slack, but we're being held in place. But the guy next to us is definitely drifting, and his boat's not, and nobody's on it, so that's not good. Jason's trying to see what he can do. And the catamaran after that, oh, it's just a mess. Everything's a mess.
The winds swirl around the mountains, and we are getting gusts of 25 knots from the east. This Delta-style anchor must have slipped with the side wind, and it wasn't able to reset. I jumped on his boat and I put every fender on the aft to keep it from getting destroyed by the concrete wall. I ran another bow line to a starboard bollard, and I recruited a local to help me pull the bow to keep him from dragging into our boat. Then I secured his dinghy so it wouldn't pop while getting slammed under the sharp metal steps.
Man, what a stressful afternoon. Just not good.
Eventually, someone found the port captain. He jumped aboard, started the boat, and began to tighten the slack from the anchor chain. The anchor wouldn't reset, so the port captain had to wait for the owner to return.
Woo! Talk about close, man. Don't know what's going on. We even seem to be moving a little bit, so I'm about to go dive on the chain and see if the anchor's hooked, what's down there. We're not moving a lot, just a tiny bit.
But I mean, clearly this guy's anchor let loose.
This guy's anchor let loose. The other catamaran that was over there, they ended up moving out because I think they were hitting the wall. Ooh, nuts, man.
Yeah.
Just not. And people wonder why we don't get more videos done.
So how is that guy's boat?
I put like 6 more, I found like 3 more fenders, so now there's 6 total on the back, and it's okay as long as the fenders don't pop. They're just getting smashed.
And then I noticed you ran another line.
Oh yeah, I ran a line from the front all the way, the bow, all the way back because his bow was coming towards us and about to hit us, so it should keep him away from us at least. Now the harbor master's got on the boat and
hopefully gonna get it moved.
yeah, pulling up his anchor and tightening it up. He said his hook's probably fine. It's probably just he has too much slack in the chain. So that's what the harbor master's checking on. He told him to run a second anchor too.
Oh, and he
Yeah,
didn't
he's
do
like,
it.
when it was calm and slack tide, I told him to run a second anchor. Nuts. Okay, I'm gonna dive. Afraid to go out there because until I know what they're doing with that boat.
You don't want to be in the water? I'll keep an eye for you and I'll yell.
Is it recording?
It is recording.
Does it look like a good angle?
Yep, except for your hair, but that's okay. Good luck. Hope you can see something. Little cold.
I can't see shit.
No?
And it's an incoming tide too.
Well, go find the anchor chain and see if you can follow it.
I got my hand on the chain, it's not jumping. So that's good. I held the chain all the way here. It felt tight, it pulled a couple times. Didn't feel like it was jumping. It might go to silt right here, which is why it's hooked. I'll go one more time. I can't see the bottom, so it's I'm afraid of hitting my face.
And?
Followed it all the way. I held onto it. I actually didn't get all the way out. I think we had 200 feet of chain out. It must be like 25 or 30 feet deep.
Okay.
That's the time I got to the... It's just too long. Far away.
And no viz.
Put on a scuba. You really want?
I mean, we're not moving, so I think we're okay.
With the owner back, they decided to try and get the boat re-anchored and tied up securely. Even with his anchor in the water, engine on, and working bow thrusters, for whatever reason, he wasn't able to keep his boat from drifting towards us. They tried to throw me a line to stop their drift, but the line wasn't long enough, and like my stomach, it just sank in the water as he continued to drift towards Curiosity.
That just happened. What a cluster. I mean, seriously.
Well, that was a very good learning experience for us. Now I know what Kent was always saying when he said you gotta tie your lines in a way that you can remove them from the dock quickly. So that finally clicked. The other thing that I thought was kind of crazy was I was the only one over there protecting that guy's boat. Woo! See, the wind is literally just doing this all day. That's why I think his boat got messed up. Anyway, like, I was the only one there. The other guy in the catamaran was worried about his catamaran, which I totally get. He just got the hell out of there. But the guy in the monohull, like, he just sat there and watched the whole thing. I don't know.
And it's like you had to ask people at the restaurant to please like come over and help.
Yelling at people at the restaurant, hey, go tell the harbor master, go over to that office and tell them the boat's dragging.
Yeah, well, because you tried on the radio multiple times, nobody answered.
Nobody answered the radio, so I don't know. It's just like everything that could have went wrong in that instance seems like it went wrong, including the fact that he was aiming for something, 200 meters away, and then yet he ended up hitting our boat. Like, that's just nuts. Never in my wildest imagination would I have thought that
he's
whole
gonna end up
situation
next to us. Yeah.
just nuts. I don't get it.
So big takeaways are always make sure your lines are quick release, ready to go.
Yep. Just throw your lines off from the boat in case there's an emergency.
Yep, like because he was stuck on there for a while because it was taking forever to get his lines off to get out to reset his anchor.
Have a really, really, really good anchor, which will only help. I can't say it would have fixed all of his problems, but it might have. He has an older anchor. What else? Never ever leave your boat.
No, that's terrible. No.
That's the scary part. I mean, it's like it was fine when he left.
Yeah.
And then 2 hours later, it was nuts.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing is if you're not confident to try to come back in, like I'm usually our helms person. I wouldn't get that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't get that close to somebody else's boat because it could happen to anybody, and that was just a shit situation all the way around. But it's like, I think he was feeling pressure from the harbor master and everything else to get back in here, and like, I would have been super flustered. So I would have wanted a minute. I've been like, no, you're just going to leave me right here until I feel like I'm prepared to come back in there and go for that again. So don't try to re-anchor when you're already flustered if you're in a safe spot. Just
wait, take a breath.
Wait and take a breath. I'll remind myself of that next time we're in a crappy situation like that. Which hopefully doesn't happen, but it does happen. So, man, felt sorry for everybody involved in that. Including us. So
Lunch.
Beer?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his drama doesn't end here. The next morning, he was attempting to leave the harbor, and his anchor windlass seized up. I rushed over to help, but after an hour of troubleshooting, we realized the motor and gypsy were trashed. A few locals generously came over and helped us lift well over 100 feet of chain by hand, and it was not easy. For this sailor, his 3 days in Rarotonga were hell. For us, aside from these few stressful days, our time here has been amazing. And now the wind has eased up, the swell is calming down, and we're all alone, left in peace to contemplate the events. Anchoring is one of the more stressful, routine aspects of cruising, and this was a prime example of why. There's always some level of unpredictability in how boats will move, be it our neighbor's boat or our own. While it felt like everything that could go wrong did, it could have been a whole lot worse. A life afloat is full of challenges, but you know what they say, life is 10% what happens and 90% how we react to it.